Welcome back, and hope you're doing great. Hope you're having a great day, or doing whatever you're doing. Hopefully, it's great. I just wanted to pop in real quick and just kind of say I had an interesting thought, and it all kind of stemmed from one of my sons called me in the morning the other day, and it was, I don't know, 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning or whatever, and he's like, I answered the phone, and I'm like, because it was unusual, it was a work day and stuff, and I'm like, hey kid, what's up? And he said, they're going, not much, just I'm feeling down, and just hope maybe you could say, give me some cheer. I'm like, absolutely, I got you, bro. So he, we talked for maybe 5-10 minutes, and at the end of it, we both came away feeling much better about everything, and that's all it took, was just a 5-minute conversation, and letting him know that he's not alone, and I got him, and it's all good, right? And it just kind of spoke to me a little bit, and it's that's how it should be, right? We should be able to lean on each other. We should be able to call on each other, and be able to have an open and honest conversation with people. It kind of struck me. I started after that conversation. It started a bit of a thought train, and so I wrote a bunch of stuff down. So forgive me if I kind of glanced down there. I got some stuff written out, but it's titled "People Say They Want to Help." Well, and that may be true, but I find a lot of the times there's something attached to it, or they want something in return. It's never just sort of want to give something to you just because I want to make your life easier or bless you with something. So it just kind of got me down this sort of trail of thoughts of it's interesting how it works, and people say they want to help you succeed in business or feel better or whatever it is, and but like I said, it always seems to come at a cost. There has to be something in it for them. I started quick little backstory. I started something with my mom many years ago, well before any internet or technology, really. It was before heck, I don't even know if there was cell phones yet. So I remember I lived in Alberta, she lived in BC, and my parents lived in the Okanagan. And I remember going for a visit and walking into the little office there and stuff set up, and they had a fax machine. And I got to think about it, like, okay. And I had this sort of little brainwave and a thought about, I'm gonna go home, back to Alberta, and I bought just a simple little fax machine, and I already had a house phone, so I kind of hooked it all up, and then one Saturday morning, I made a goofy little cartoon face on a piece of paper and said, "Hi Mom, I love you, and I hope you're having a great morning. Happy Saturday." And from that day on, I got a call maybe 5 minutes after, and I could tell she was just so overjoyed with that simple little token, right? It was really nothing, and but to her it was everything. And we just need to you know, from that Saturday on, we never missed the Saturday of saying Happy Saturday, or with goofy faces and smiles and stickers, and it's so funny because Mom used to put stickers on, not thinking about that they don't transfer on a fax machine. It just comes out of a black square. Anyway, it was funny. And till her dying day, she held on to every single one of those faxes that I sent. What a beautiful woman. So anyways, and I still do that with some family members and stuff, with my sisters, and send them a happy Saturday or whatever, but obviously through text now. But it's just a fun little thing, and it's so simple. It takes no time to do, right? Like it's a 10-second gesture of, hey, I'm thinking about you and I love you, and that's how it should be, I believe in unconditional love. There's a song out there, and it's called "Love Is a Verb," and I strongly believe that that words are cheap, and unless it's followed up with action, but then it's priceless, because you're proving, you're not just saying stuff, because anybody can say anything, right? But it's the action, it's the follow up that solidifies those words, and it shouldn't come at a cost, like there's it shouldn't have to cost you something, or just don't do it then. You know what I mean? I grew up in a family, and with parents that taught me by showing me that you give without expectation of anything in return. Give your skills, money, time, whatever it is, right? Because you truly care to help someone through whatever they may be struggling with in that moment. And God will always give back, usually tenfold. I believe in vibrations and the law of attraction. You get what you give, and what works for good and bad. And my mom was a perfect example. She took it upon herself that she got my dad to build these giant containers, sea cans nowadays, but back then they didn't have the money to buy a sea can or whatever, so Dad would build a big plywood box, right? And then she would spend, I don't know, like a year collecting stuff. She would go to yard sales and thrift stores and donations and everything that she could do, and she would fill these giant containers. Like, I mean, I'm talking giant containers, like a sea can size. And this is one woman, right? Obviously we had to help as kids, but yeah. Anyway, and again, remember, this is well before technology, before computers, before, well, we had our hands on a computer, at least, anyways. Late 70s, early 80s. This was, so you could just imagine the logistics and the legwork that had to go into getting this happening. So she would take these giant containers, and they would get them shipped to Guatemala for all the kids and the people that are struggling there. They were good friends with some nuns that were doing missions in Guatemala, and that was her heart. And she did it out of her own free will and out of the goodness of her heart. And that was just one of the many things that she would just so selflessly give, and it taught me a lot, because when I was a kid, take it back a bit. When I was a kid, I had a very, very traumatic, bad thing that happened to me. It was out of my control, and didn't matter how much screaming or fighting or yelling or flailing I did, I couldn't make it stop. Ever since then, I struggled with relationships and still do. My soul was in turmoil for a large part of my adult life, my whole life really, up until, my 30s, late 30s. I dealt with this stuff, and, and like I said, my soul was in turmoil. While I still just put on a happy face, and I was just goofy, fun old Ken. I never really knew how to deal with my pain, and to be perfectly honest, my pain was buried so deep that I didn't even realize why I felt the way I did until breakdown after breakdown. Relationships, and it slowly started coming to the surface, and those kind of, that was slowly started coming to the surface. One night, I had a dream, and I relived it that day when I was a 10-year-old boy, and it broke me. I was probably 30, I think I was 33 or 34, I think, at the time when I had this dream. And that was the day that I started the journey to healing. But it was like every day was a little bit more of a remembering the details of that day, and how remembering the terror and the feeling inside of me that there's nothing I could do. And they would come back to haunt me, piece by piece. But I realized that, like with some counseling, that this was a necessary step in order to realize, and to be able to be on the way to being healed, if that makes any sense. For the record, I'm still not 100% healed. My soul longs for peace. It's been longing for peace for a lot of years, because there's a piece of me that was stolen forever on that day. I'll always remember, but I know that I have to forgive. There has to be forgiveness there, because I don't want to hold on to that shit. I don't want to live in that past. I don't want to be there. I don't ever, So the only way to attain that freedom is to just, I have to forgive that person. And it's hard, but I know it's necessary, because it's part of that healing process, I'm going to be okay, because I choose to surround myself with genuine people that care about me and that don't judge me. I've had people steal from me physically, mentally, emotionally, and material stuff just recently. I had, one of the things that just makes me feel alive, ironically, was stolen from me. My street bike. I love riding because, whether it's my dirt bike or a street bike or whatever, it's one of those things that it just takes me away from everything. It's my freedom. It's I can escape and just think about nothing else but either the road or the dirt in front of me, and handling and yeah, I can't explain it, but it's my opportunity to be free, to think about nothing else. There's no other thoughts going on in my head. I mean, I know my own truth. Turns out I'm human. I fuck up. But I realize it. And then I know that I'm not perfect. But, I repent and I ask for forgiveness, because I don't want to live in that. And now I guess it's up to that person whether they want to hold on to that, make me suffer or whatever, or to just let it go. But I also know, karma works for good and for bad, right? That's the law. That's the law of attraction. That's the law of the universe. You put out good vibes or bad vibes, and you get what you get. September 10th, 2010. Little did I know how much that day would change my life drastically. I joined the volunteer fire department in a little town in Alberta. Beautiful little place, beautiful people. I lived there for a number of years, and I joined with the thought of giving back to my community, right? And I thought I knew what I was getting into, but my God, I had no clue. I knew that there was going to be heavy lifting and physically demanding stuff, and hot smoky situations, and long sleepless nights and missed dinners and whatever. And I was okay with that, but I had no clue how profoundly it would change me emotionally. Every scene we go to, especially like the vehicle collisions, every scene would be, fire or rescue, I guess, or would supply a new lesson for me. The very first of many fatalities was a mother in her mid-30s. We came upon this scene, and I remember pulling up to it and saw the blue minivan in one ditch, and probably a 3/4 or like a 1-ton flatbed work truck kind of over on the other side. Everything was mangled and smoke, and we got closer to the intersection, and I saw kids' car seats in the middle of the road, and my heart just shattered. I was obviously expecting the worst, right? And I'm like, oh my God, no, I can't handle that. Wow, thank God there was no kids there. But we get out of the truck and approach the vehicle, and the mom was she had passed away, and she was pinned between the steering wheel and the seat, and her head was resting against the window. And I looked and I realized right away that I was in shock, and I had to turn around. I looked up and took a couple of deep breaths and asked for strength, and because I knew we had a job to do, and we had to get her free from there. Anyways, we got her out and got back to the hall, And our chief, in his wisdom, he made a point to take us all upstairs of the fire hall and have a beer or whatever, and give us an opportunity to sort of, I guess, let it all out, because everybody deals with that stuff differently, and so give an opportunity to whatever, see a bunch of other grown men cry. But I'll never forget one of the officers kind of stood up and spoke, and he said, that mother had plans for the day. She was on her way to work. She had dinner plans with her family and her kids. They will never feel that gentle touch of her lips on their cheek at bedtime ever again. Her husband will sleep alone tonight. Her friends and family will not get to celebrate Christmas or birthdays with her ever again. So I urge you to take a few minutes to practice gratitude. Make sure the ones you love know it. Treat each day as though it's borrowed. Tomorrow isn't promised. I'll never, ever forget those words. Recently, I was in a pretty dark place, and talking about being free on a motorcycle. I was on my bike because that was the only mode of transportation I had, and there was a hailstorm, and everything had been taken from me, and I was just in a really dark place, and caught in a hailstorm on my bike in March, and I thought, I'm fucking done. I can't do this. And I told myself, the next concrete truck that comes, I'm going to be a part of it. Well, I guess I'm here today because there wasn't a concrete truck that day. That young mother that was in that van, that was the first of many. I've seen enough for 10 lifetimes. People thrown from vehicles. Young girl got cut in half. Man pinned under a farm truck that was hauling liquid load to a field, and he tipped over and got pinned underneath and drowned. And shit. And so many more. And now I recognize that, I chose to do this, right? I signed up for this, so this is by no means a boo-hoo or a woe is me or nothing like that, don't get me wrong. I did it out of my own free will, and I'm not looking for sympathy. I spent a lot of sleepless nights, missed dinners, emotional turmoil. Not to be called a hero or to get any kind of praise whatsoever, so please don't. It was my way of giving. I realized that I was so passionate about being a firefighter and going to the aid of other people because of what happened to me as a boy. Because people are in need, right? They're calling out for help, And so when my pager would go off in the middle of the night, 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, I was up and out the door as fast as I possibly could. Because I don't want anybody to ever feel the way I felt when I was a young guy, and nobody could come to me. I don't want anybody to ever feel that way. So don't let yourself get complacent, please. Show your loved ones what they mean to you. Let's spend more time getting together and celebrating each other instead of tearing each other down. And if it's not getting together, then have a conversation. Not to bitch or bellyache or be negative about shit, but obviously if you're in need or if you're hurting, then yeah, call out to somebody. I know how hard life is. I get it. We're all in the same boat, right? And that's why we need to band together stronger and be there for each other instead of tearing each other down or being annoyed by people when they call out for help, or they need just a friendly voice to talk to, or just somebody to cheer them up. Take the 5 minutes. It's not gonna kill you. It's time that we get back to being a community that genuinely cares about each other. I don't know. It's just my 2 cents. I love you all. I hope you know that. And sorry if this is the first time watching me. I told you, this channel is all about inspiration, love, action, fun, goofy, whatever. So, thanks for joining the ride. Love you. Bye.